always knew I wanted to be a mother.
When I grow up, I'll be a basketball player.
Make a wish. When I feel lonely now, I tend to miss what I have.
Guys are interested in sex.
I think I was very naive.
AIDS is scary.
Well, I couldn't wait to be 21 and be out partying.
Learn science and chemistry.
To have an education is not as important as finding a husband.
I'll get married whenever the time's right. I don't care.
Till death do you part.
I was a lot happier that he died at home.
The joy of old age and grandchildren, I believe.
Having kids is wonderful.
I get real sad.
Guys to get on
65 is a real surprise. I cried when I turned 30.
I feel that men
Over there.
Baby, a kiss.
Marriages and families are made up of separate, very unique individuals. Although members of a family may share a common heritage, no two life paths are exactly the same. It wasn't too many years ago that psychologists were convinced that development was limited to the early childhood years. More recent research has revealed that adult personalities develop and change over a lifetime, influenced by both the social environment in which people live and by the decisions they themselves make. It's always easier to make decisions that are socially acceptable than to choose alternatives that are labeled inappropriate. In the 50s, for example, when the majority of middle-class women were staying at home with their children, mothers who worked were open to criticism and vulnerable to feelings of guilt. Childcare was almost non-existent, and schools and other institutions that served children were not set up to deal with the dual-worker families. Now, by contrast, the pendulum has swung in the opposite direction. For many, choosing to be a homemaker is considered out of step with modern society.
My father was a professional, did the usual 9-to-5 job, and my mother, I think, was relatively frustrated. She was very bright, and yet she didn't have the support of a society that would allow her to go out and to really utilize her brain and utilize her abilities, and perhaps didn't have the, pardon the expression, guts. She really, I feel, certainly had the ability, but maybe not the nerve to go against a society and do the things that she might have done.
And may your days be good.
Social factors can also limit a person's options. For example, our society only sanctions marriage between two single people of the opposite sex.
Even if gay people wanted to get married, they're banned by law to do that. So we're banned from having any kind of legally sanctioned monogamous relationship. Consider the irony of this. Society condemns gay men for being promiscuous and sexually active and not having monogamous, a monogamous relationship, and then they say that shows you're disgusting people, and in fact you're such disgusting people, we're going to pass a law against you having a legally sanctioned monogamous relationship.
And that's one thing socially when there's just the two of you, but when you have a family, when you're supporting a child, which is a major emotional and financial responsibility, then to not be recognized as a couple, everything is more difficult. I mean, we just went through one of my most angry-making examples of that, and that's tax time. We in fact share the financial responsibilities of maintaining a household and taking care of Reese, the everything that's involved in financially in raising a child, but we don't get to file our taxes jointly. There's no mechanism whereby we can declare we are financially codependent.
Discrimination of any kind limits people's options and decisions. Sociologists talk about the impact of racial discrimination and economic disadvantage.
Our unemployment rate has reached devastating proportions. Midwestern University has already said that by the year 2000, most black men will either be on dope, in jail, or prison, or dead. Now, when you look at those figures, and you already see that at least 68 to 70% of our children are being raised without a father, but are being raised by single females. If you look at the underemployment coupled with the unemployment of black males, and if you look at a society that appears to be destined to destroy the black male, then our families are in serious trouble.
While social factors can limit our options, most people, nevertheless, will make a series of decisions that will shape their lives. People can marry or remain single. They can have a dozen children, no children, or any number in between. No choice, however, is without its consequences. Opening one door often means closing another. In 1974, Gail Sheehy's bestseller, Passages, popularized the concept of the adult life course. Although this view of adult development has garnered its share of criticism, it established the idea that adults not only shape their lives, but step back periodically to review and evaluate what they've created. Each stage along the way presents a particular developmental challenge to the individual.
We see this process very clearly in little